Hey everyone, welcome back to makersgonnalearn.com and welcome back to Q&A Tuesday. In today's video, we are breaking down, is sublimation easy? This is a great question as there has been such a rise in the Cricut community wanting to know more about sublimation. In today's video, we're giving you a well-rounded perspective on what it's going to take for you to get started in sublimation, questions you want to ask yourself before getting started, and letting you guys know some tips and tricks as you plan what products to get to start sublimating. If you guys are excited, let's go ahead and jump into it. A big question we get is, Tanner, what's the difference between sublimation and Cricut Infusible ink? So my friends, let me break it down for you real quick. Cricut Infusible ink is particularly just printed sheets of sublimation that you will be able to cut and use with your Cricut. And then sublimation, you are actually printing your own patterns. You have no restrictions after you convert a printer and turn it into a sublimation printer. So if you are someone that does not want any restrictions when it comes to crafting, I highly recommend checking out sublimation for your own patterns, projects, and more. If you're anything like me, the Cricut Infusible ink patterns are limiting and not to mention a little pricey. But you also want to be careful as sublimation is also definitely an investment to get started. You're going to spend upwards of $300 to $400 or more just to get started in sublimation. What you're going to have to consider is what printer you want, what the largest project you're willing to make, because remember, just like with Cricut Infusible ink, sublimation, you must have a heat plate, whether it's an EasyPress or a heat press that is going to be larger than the project you're creating. So you definitely want to be careful about that. But if you're someone that is really excited to do larger projects than maybe what your print and cut restriction could be and things like that, this is a great alternative that is going to give you long-lasting results. You're going to have no more issues with your HTV peeling up, any orders coming through saying, Tanner, I loved my shirt, but I've washed it 3 times and heat transfer has pulled up. One thing I've noticed with customers is they're not going to take care of their shirt as well as us creators would. So sublimation from a business standpoint could be a great alternative because once it's on the shirt, it's there forever. You're not going to see fading, it's not going to peel up, anything like that when we experience with heat transfer vinyl. You want to be mindful when you're selecting what printer to convert into a sublimation printer. There's a few different ones on the market and you want to make sure to do your research. The one we have on the table, I personally picked because I wanted to have the largest ability to do sublimation projects as large as I want. I don't want any restriction. So this one can do up to 11 by 17. But remember, if I'm doing an 11 by 17 project, I have to find a heat plate that is going to be that size. So you want to be mindful and kind of compare and contrast when you're picking what printer you want to get started with. I just didn't want to be restricted by a regular letter size piece of paper. So definitely do your research and pick wisely when it comes to converting it. After you pick your printer, you're then going to have to pick a great sublimation ink set. Now, traditionally, you can find these on Amazon, and we may even link some down below for you, just so you can start looking around and comparing and making a decision for yourself. But what you're going to get is all the ink that you're going to need to convert the printer in an additional item on Amazon. So you're already up to picking your printer, getting your ink converting kit, and then you're going to have to make sure that you either A, have an EasyPress large enough for the projects you want, or B, you may now decide that it's time to get a large heat press. There's a lot of different heat presses on the market. 143 Vinyl has an amazing heat press that is like always sold out. This one is kind of like the average mid-grade heat press that you can find on Amazon year-round. It's always in stock traditionally, and you'll see that it is very affordable. This one is the 5-in-1, so you're also going to be getting that mug clamp that a lot of people have been comparing it with the mug press. So for the price, you're definitely getting quite a bit of items in that, so definitely we'll have that link down below as well. But I just want to clear up something. Not all printers are going to be able to be converted into a sublimation printer. There's very few and far in between that you're going to be able to convert into a sublimation printer. So this one can, there's a few others. I think there's one by HP that's a little bit smaller, and there's a few, but chances are the printer that you have right now probably will not be able to be converted because there's such specific printers that can be converted. If you're a little worried about converting a printer yourself, have no fear, friends. Stay tuned because I'll be teaching you exactly how we were able to convert this printer into an amazing sublimation printer that we love using. So if you're worried about it, just give us a little bit and we'll have you an amazing video on how to do that. Another thing to consider is that you want to kind of map out how many sublimation projects you can do within a 6-month time span. And here's why. Your ink for sublimation has a shelf life of about 6 months, my friends. So you definitely want to make sure you're going to be able to get your money's worth of your ink within 6 months of starting to use it. Now, once you get into sublimation and it's just a piece of cake for you, I don't worry too much about that. But as a beginner, you really want to make sure that you're going to get your money's worth, because if you're going to get the ink kit and then only make 2 projects in the first week and not touch it again for a few months, you may end up with almost like a $40 shirt because the ink will be wasted over 6 months. So just be very mindful that you will have to replace that ink even if you have not finished using it, due to the fact that the shelf life is only 6 months. Now, comparatively for our Canon printers, that's a really small shelf life compared to traditional inkjet printers. But again, this is sublimation ink and it's very different. So just remember that they say it's roughly about a 6-month lifespan for your sublimation ink. Now, most of us watching here today wants to be able to make amazing high quality shirts, right? That's what I want to make, and that's what I know a lot of you guys at home want to do as well. Now, with the sublimation, you must have polyester shirts. What we're recommending is at least a 65% poly to cotton ratio. So you could do at the minimum a 65% polyester shirt, and it can be mixed in with cotton. A lot of people don't love how polyester feels, but the more polyester, the deeper the color, my friend, and that's what you want to look out for. Now, for our friends that are wanting to be as environmentally friendly as possible, one downfall for sublimating is that these shirts are never going to biodegrade. Cotton and other things like that are going to be able to break down, but my friends, the polyester is going to be around in the landfills for a while. So if you're someone that's wanting to be environmentally conscious and things like that, I definitely want you guys to maybe think twice and, about the polyester, because it is not biodegradable. So that's just something to note, especially. And remember, the more poly that's in your shirt, the deeper, the richer the color will be. It's really fantastic, my friends, and I think sublimation is one of the coolest processes to watch because it kind of blows you away with the process. So it's really neat, and you'll love it. Now, notice on the table here, my friends, we have a few sublimation blanks. The big trend here is that they have to be a light or pretty much white color for you to be able to sublimate on. That's kind of a downfall for me, because when I'm designing projects, when I'm looking at different things, white projects can sometimes come off a little cheap. Like, you just don't always want to have to work with a white blank. You know what I mean? I wear black t-shirts in every single video. I love putting white vinyl on t-shirts. I love gray. I love dark grays, charcoals. But when you're sublimating, you're only going to want to work with very light or pretty much white blanks. So you want to be mindful of that, so that you really think, do I want to only use white, or light blanks with my sublimating. That could be a big make it or break it for people that are considering getting started in sublimating. You could try to use darker colors, and there may be some that you'll be able to kind of meet in the middle with. But again, when you transfer that ink to the shirt, you're just not going to be able to see it near as much and have near as much vibrant, and the colors give a true transfer as you would with white to light colors. So you just want to be careful about that. And I don't want you guys to, waste any money on blanks that you're not going to be able to get a great project out of. Now, my friends, when it comes to sublimating as well, you really are limited to your blanks. We're going to link a video right down below that Rachel compares a ton of different sublimation blanks. And what you're going to find is that each blank is not made equal, my friends, and the great quality ones are the ones that are usually a higher price point. So these are going to be pretty expensive, but again, you want to be mindful because sublimation projects are going to last a long time. The way it transfers, the way it goes on the blanks, if it's a quality blank, it's going to be there for quite a while. You have no worry about it peeling up or anything like that. But again, you're limited. There's only a select few number of blanks. So what I would recommend you do is to kind of scope out what that's going to look like. Some of these sublimation mugs, my friends, are upwards of $10 to $12 per mug, when, guys, a watt mug at the dollar store is $1. You can put vinyl on that all day, and you may only have $1.50 invested into a vinyl mug. But when it comes to sublimating and using the Cricut mug press and things, you could be up to having almost $15 invested in the mug, and it may just not be practical for you to be able to sell, gift at scale, and things like that. So you really want to be mindful of that. Not only are there limited blanks, there's limited colors, and you have to really test and find great suppliers to give you quality polyester blanks. Now, another thing is there's a few different varieties. We have the license plate here. You can do a koozie, you could do a hat. I love the coasters. Another really fun one is doing the puzzles. There's so many possibilities with it. I mean, you as a potential business owner, guys, sublimating pictures of puzzles for people would die over that. Like, people are gonna really, really love that. So when you're researching the sublimation, maybe think, what outside of the box custom project could I do? What could I do with sublimation that my Cricut just could never even compete with? Because when you could put vinyl on a mug for, say, $1.50 versus $20, there's definitely a difference here. But if you're doing a sublimation puzzle where you're actually putting a family picture, it could be a wedding picture, anything like that, your Cricut is never going to be able to sublimate. You could do print and cut, but remember, it could still peel up, and print and cut has those size restrictions. So these are all things that we want to have the open discussion with so that you guys can, give me your thoughts. So my friends, I hope that you are letting this all sink in, and I want to know what you guys are thinking. Definitely be plugging in the comments down below, letting me know what your thoughts are, and if you're interested in more sublimation videos, because I love having these type of discussions. I don't know about you guys, but we are loving these Q&A Tuesday videos. This is a great time for you guys to bring your questions to the table and get support. And then, my friends, what I love is that, again, we're going to continue the conversation down in the comments. So be sure to plug in. Let us know, is sublimation something you're doing, you want to get into, or after today's video, you've asked yourself these questions and you're like, nope, it's not for me, and that's okay. Either way, we are so excited to continue answering these videos and questions for you on Tuesday. So stay tuned for more Q&A Tuesdays coming at you. I cannot wait for you guys to see the next one. So be sure to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the Makers Gonna Learn channel. And if you are ready to sublimate your very own projects, definitely be sure to have a Makers Gonna Learn membership, because there are some great sublimation patterns coming out very soon, or by now could already be out to you guys. So much fun. And when you become a member, you'll have access to hundreds of print and cut files that would be perfect to sublimate on today. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you back here real soon. Bye now.